My total payroll last month was $129, and that $129 generated $25,811. That's not for a virtual assistant, it's for my entire team, a team that doesn't sleep, doesn't take vacation, and runs my company 24/7. I'm going to introduce you to them. My AI Chief of Staff, my AI Operations team, and my AI Communications Director, and I'll give you the exact system you can copy. Most people think running a business like this requires a huge, complicated tech stack. It doesn't. It requires a team. The critical shift for a solopreneur, though, isn't hiring people, it's hiring roles. And tonight, you're going to make your first hire. We're starting with the brain of the operation, your new strategist, and you can get them working for you in the next 90 seconds. We're in Notion. First, create a simple database. Call it a content calendar. Make properties for a title, a status, and a publish date. Simple. Now, on a new line, just ask the AI. Generate 10 blog post ideas for a solopreneur audience interested in AI productivity. Instantly, you have a list of ideas. Drag one of them into your new database. This is where the magic happens. We're going to create a template so your new hire does the heavy lifting. Create a new template in the database called New Blog Post. Inside, add an AI block with a custom prompt. Create a detailed content brief for the blog post titled with this page's title. Include a target audience, key talking points, and a suggested SEO title. So how do we make this happen automatically without a single click? We set up the automation. Click the little lightning bolt icon at the top of the database. Set the trigger to when a page is added, and set the action to apply the new blog post template. That's it. Now, every single time you add a new idea to your calendar, Notion AI automatically generates a complete strategic brief for you inside the page. We've just built one small part of our strategist's brain. To truly run the company, though, this brain needs to be more than just a content calendar. It needs to be the central leader, the chief of staff. For my one-person company, that leader is Notion AI. It's the single source of truth that sets the strategy and tracks all progress. But calling Notion a CEO might sound ridiculous if you've ever actually used it. You open it up and think, this is the CEO? This thing is a chaotic mess. And you're not wrong. Most people get lost in Notion. They build systems so complex, with so many nested databases and relations, that the whole thing collapses under its own weight. It creates more work than it saves. The key isn't to master all of Notion's features. The key is to give it one single job. Be the CEO. Its only role is to know everything, hold the master plan, and assign the tasks. That's it. By treating it as a CEO, you stop trying to make it do everything. It's not your writer, it's not your email client, it's the brain. The content calendar we just built is a perfect example. That's the CEO setting the quarterly strategy. Every project, every client, every idea lives inside this one central hub. And because it's the central brain, it develops an institutional memory. This is the end of the "where did I save that file?" panic forever. I can ask it, what were the 3 main action items from the Q4 planning doc? And it doesn't just find the file. It reads it, understands it, and gives me the answer. The CEO remembers everything, so I don't have to. This is the exact opposite of those bloated, all-in-one platforms that I'll tell you more about later. This is focused, and that focus is what makes you grow. According to Salesforce, small businesses that use AI like this are 1.8 times more likely to be growing than those that aren't. And if you're a solopreneur, you're not alone in thinking this is the future. 78% of solopreneurs expect AI to fundamentally change how they operate. This entire CEO dashboard in Notion is the brain of my business. I've polished the template I use every day, and you can grab it for free at the link in the description to get a massive head start. But a brilliant strategy is just a dead document without an executor. A plan doesn't pay the bills, action does. So let's meet the most powerful member of my team, the one who takes the orders and does the work. While my CEO, Notion, decides what to do, my Chief Operating Officer, a team of custom ChatGPT agents, decides how to do it and then actually does the work. This isn't about asking the generic chatbot to write an email. This is about building a team of specialists, each trained for a specific high-value task in your business. This is the point where the idea of an AI team usually breaks down. The phrase "building a custom agent" sounds like something a developer does. It sounds complicated, expensive, and like I need to know how to code. That's the wall where most people stop, but you won't. I'm going to show you, click by click, how to build a data analyst agent right now. You can have your first AI employee hired by the end of the day for the price of a Netflix subscription. First, you give your new hire a clear job description. In the GPT editor, you define its goal. Analyze this raw sales data, identify the top 3 trends, and create a summary report. Be specific. Second, you give it the company playbook. In the configuration tab, you upload your knowledge. This could be example spreadsheets, report templates you like, or documents that define your business's terminology. You're giving it context, so it doesn't just give you generic answers, it gives you your answers. Third, you write its standard operating procedure. In the instructions box, you tell it exactly how to behave. 1. When you get a file, analyze the columns. 2. Identify revenue and units sold. 3. Generate 3 key observations. 4. Use the report template I gave you to structure your output. 4th, you give it the tools for the job. You just make sure the code interpreter tool is enabled. That's it. That's what lets it read and analyze the files. Finally, you give it a test run. Drop in a sample file and watch it work. If the output isn't quite right, you don't fire it, you just refine the instructions. Maybe you add, don't just list the data, give me insights into why these trends might be happening. You coach it, just like a real employee. And you don't need a dozen of these agents to transform your business, you just need one that does a critical job perfectly. Take the story of Anna Nevmerzitska. She built a marketing content agency from scratch, and her entire operation was built around a single core AI automation. Just one. The result? Starting from zero, her new agency hit a run rate of $13,000 a month within just 2 months. That's the power of having one perfect employee instead of a dozen mediocre tools. And this is where the system should have been perfect. I had a strategist, I had an executor. Instead of feeling in control though, I felt like I was drowning. And the solution I chose almost destroyed my entire business. I thought the answer to managing my business was a bigger, more expensive tool. I was wrong. I fell into a trap that I see so many solopreneurs get caught in, the lure of the all-in-one platform. The promise is so seductive. One piece of software to manage your projects, your clients, your marketing, your entire life, all from a single dashboard. I found one that looked perfect. It was $300 a month. I invested a full month, probably 40 or 50 hours, meticulously setting it up. I built the client pipelines, I configured the email automations, I connected it to everything, believing this was the key to scaling. Yet with every new feature I turned on, things got more complicated, not less. The tool that was supposed to give me clarity was just creating more dashboards to check, more notifications to manage, more complexity to maintain. I wasn't running the business anymore. I was spending my time managing the software that was supposed to be managing the business for me. It was a slow, sinking feeling, the realization that I had spent hundreds of dollars and a month of my life to build a beautiful, complex cage for myself. So I fired the software, I deleted the account, and I ate the cost. The lesson was brutal, but it was clear. Complexity is the enemy of the solopreneur. The goal isn't to find one tool that does everything badly. The goal is to find a few simple tools that do one thing perfectly. Bigger isn't better. Focused is better. If you've ever felt that pain of being overwhelmed by complex software, and this idea of a simple, focused system resonates with you, this channel is for you. I'm all about finding the simple path to leverage. My final team member couldn't be a jack of all trades, it had to be a master of one. So if the answer isn't a giant CRM, how do you handle the flood of emails, client updates, and messages? You don't hire an administrator. You hire a communications director, and this one saves me 10 hours a week. According to ZipRecruiter, the average salary for a communications administrator in the United States is about $75,506 a year. That's over $6,000 a month. My comms director costs $30 a month, and I can hear you right now. $30 a month for email? When Gmail has been free for 20 years, that sounds completely ridiculous. And if you think of it as just paying for email, it is. But you're not paying for email. You're paying to get your brain back from the chaos of the inbox. Let me show you what that actually looks like. You know that 20 email thread with a client where the decision is buried somewhere in the middle and you have to spend 10 minutes rereading everything just to figure out what to do next? Superhuman's AI summary digests that entire thread and puts a one-sentence summary at the top. You make a decision in 5 seconds, not 15 minutes. That's not a feature. That's a reclaimed hour of your life. Or when you need to send a polite but firm follow-up, instead of staring at a blank screen, you just type a few words and the AI drafts the entire email in your specific tone and voice. That's mental energy you get back. It automatically splits your inbox, acting as a gatekeeper so that only emails from your most important contacts hit you right away. Everything else, newsletters, notifications, is filed away for later. And if you think this is just for solopreneurs trying to stay afloat, one of the top strategy consulting firms in the US evaluated hundreds of AI products and rolled this out to 4,000 of its senior leaders. An internal study found their partners and managing directors saved an average of 3.3 hours per week just on email. That's on top of the time they saved with other tools. When people whose time is worth thousands of dollars an hour are using this to get more of it back, the $30 price tag starts to look very, very different. So you have the CEO, the COO, and the comms director, 3 specialists. The key is that they're not working in silos. They're a unit. The real force multiplier isn't the tools themselves. It's the clean, simple handoff from one to the next. You've seen the players. Now, let's watch the game. The question everyone has at this point is, how do you connect these separate tools without hiring a developer or learning a bunch of complex code? The answer is, you don't. You use simple triggers and clear roles, and they work in concert. Let me show you. It starts with a single idea. I open my Notion dashboard, the CEO's office, and add a new video idea to my content calendar, the 3 AI employees. The CEO has just made a strategic decision. That one action is the trigger. It automatically kicks a task to my COO, a custom ChatGPT agent. This agent has been trained on my best performing content. Its job is to perform keyword research, analyze the top 3 competitor videos on the topic, and generate a complete research brief with a proposed script outline. It does in about 90 seconds what used to take me 4 hours. Once that brief is complete, the final handoff happens. The system automatically takes the key points from the ChatGPT brief, and a new draft email appears in Superhuman, my comms director. The subject is new video brief, the 3 AI employees, the research is attached, and the body of the email is already written for my editor. All I have to do is hit send. Idea becomes research, becomes communication. Seamlessly. That's the system. That's how a $129 payroll generates over $25,000 a month. It was never about the tools. It was always about the roles. A strategist, an operator, and a communicator. Your first step isn't to build all of this, it's to hire your CEO. Tonight. Click the link below, grab the free template, and give your new chief of staff its first order. And let me know in the comments, what's the very first task you're going to give your new AI CEO?